Saturday morning, that is why you're here and you're tuned in. We have a great episode for you this week, and if you are into historical stuff, you've definitely tuned in to the right show this week. So we do appreciate everybody that is tuned in to this week's Collectors Radio. And yes, we do have quite a bit of collectors items here out for display. And hopefully you're liking the new corner that we've, the studio area that we are doing the taping of the shows now. We got a little something different for this time around. And I'll let you in on a little secret. It's actually not morning when we're doing this, so we actually got a late production start. It's actually quite late here at night, but for you it is Saturday morning, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read your comments. So also, before we get started here, again, the comments, when we read them, no particular order. And if you, for some reason, your comment wasn't read, like I said, there's some, like Lion Quest Fitness posted last week's show. There's no rhyme or reason, really. It seems like that sometimes your comment won't be posted or won't get pulled. I'm not aware that it exists. Really, how I'm doing this is I'm going right to the actual video itself and reading them live from there. I'm not even signed in to the account. I'm not actually on my account a whole lot anymore, so bear with me. A lot of my friends and that I'm over the years that they've been doing videos and stuff like that. I apologize in advance. I've been absent from the scene. I really have. I just don't get on there anymore. But I do the Collectors Radio show for you, and that's kind of where it lies with me. That's kind of it. So anyway, like I said, tonight we're kind of on a late show, but you know what? We're here for you on Saturday morning. So we're going to go ahead and read your comments. First one up, Harrison Mantooth. That was an awesome radio show. Thanks again for sharing. The new studio looks great. Thank you. The audio and video are excellent. Everything seems to be balanced for our better now. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Everybody, I do. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you didn't eat way too much. But it is the holidays, so we'll diet in the next year, right? That's what we do. So, okay, and Sean has come up here. We got, that's cool 22 you got there. 22s are definitely fun and inexpensive to shoot. Yes, at least, for the most part. I remember when the bricks of 22s were going like stupid money where you couldn't get them. That was just like really dumb. But I do recall that. I've got an old Marlin that I tend to shoot more than larger calibers. Yes, absolutely. Loving the new studio. Thank you. Everybody seems to love the new studio, so that's awesome. A lot of cool feedback in there. I did think about, why don't we make a nice, cool studio area for us to do the show. So that's what we got here. All right, Slim Fire. Morning, JW, and the new room looks great. Always look forward to Saturday talk show with a good cup of coffee. I don't care much for the rail on 1911 either. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and thanks for the video. Slim, you are very welcome, Slim. We do appreciate it. Folks like you is why we do it. All right, John. I bought a new Colt 1911 Classic, just like the one you did a video on 3 years ago. I own many Colts 1911s, sold them all. Sounds like me. Actually, I do tend to hang on to my 1911s though. I have 10 1911s and thought, what, 10, man? Jeez, you're up there. And I thought I needed to have at least one Colt in the stable. Yes, you do. You have to have one Colt. If you love 1911s, especially like I do, it's kind of hard not to have a Colt, or at least the thought has crossed your mind. For me, from the very beginning, early on, when I was getting into 1911s, I knew I had to buy a Colt at one point or another, a true blue Colt 45, right? Nothing like it. You got to have a real Colt 45. It's just kind of the way it is with 1911s. All right. Steven, I hope this is you, because again, the YouTube video thing lists you as SWKOHNLE. So I'm sorry if I mean, that's just what I see here, but you always have a good comment there, and I always appreciate everybody commenting, especially, all of you that are always returning to the show every morning. So good morning, JW. Like the new location. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I love the feedback. Everybody loves the new location. I've just, it's been, we've been tickled pink with it. It's really awesome. All right. My buddy did a real good job of helping me put this thing together. So, all right, my favorite 22 is Winchester 69A, a sweet rifle and fun to shoot. The old gallery gun. Yep. All right, Squib left. I listened while getting stuff together to go to the range. That's a good time to listen. Anytime you're going to the range. All right, Crazy Scotsman. The nice new location and gallery gun. I have still yet to add one to the collection, but it's on the list. Nothing like a classic corncob foregrip. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Crazy Scotsman. You know, I saw something. I thought about you, Crazy Scotsman. I saw a Smith & Wesson. I guess it is a Model 27. It's kind of a commemorative to the registered Magnum end frame, of course. Smith & Wesson did it, and I think there's only it said one of 2,000 or something like that. It came in a beautiful walnut box with the blue velvet and everything like that. 5-inch barrel. Get that, 5-inch. And everything, so that was really cool. I thought about you when I saw that. No, I didn't pick it up. I have a Model 28, and I'm good with that. Okay, all right. Jeffrey Richardson, or did I sell the 28? Terrible. I sell off so much stuff lately. Jeffrey Richardson, love the new studio. All right, thank you, Jeff. And Joe P, my man Joe, swig of coffee for Joe. Good morning, JW. Powers Booth was a great actor. First thing I think of when I hear his name in the McConaughey movie Frailty. I saw Frailty. I saw Frailty a long time ago when that came out. I do remember that. It's got the stump with the axe in it or something, if I remember that. And I'm talking VHS days. All right, Squib, 1911, like the new studio. Thanks for the good tip on good pizza place in Kona. I may use that. Yeah, Kona Brew Pub in Kona. I'm talking about Kailua Kona, Hawaii, Big Island. Definitely check out Kona Brew. For lunch, hit up Big Island. If these places are still there, I haven't been back home for years, guys, folks. So Big Island Grill is a great place. I highly recommend the chicken katsu, my personal favorite. They make the excellent sauce with it too. Anything that's deep fried or chicken fingers, I mean, look at me, come on. I mean, but I love that. And then Quinn's, almost by the sea, down on Lee Drive, next to the King Cam Hotel. If you do want to go there and stay, if you want to forego the not to say that the Hilton Waikoloa is not the best than the best. I mean, that place is awesome. It used to have water slide. I don't know if it still does, but the Hilton is awesome. But if you want to just stay right in town, chill right there, and walk and get out of your hotel, walk to the beach, go back in, walk around the strip, and walk back. It's a great location, the King Cam Hotel. That's where I would recommend to stay. It puts you right in the heart of town, right next door to all these places. You can literally walk to all these wonderful places you can get to. All right, Gray Rider. Yes, I don't like cage code on any of their firearms. I don't know the Python had it. We're talking about that little scan code thing. The new CR 6920s have it, and SOCOM will not buy any of them with it. The reissue Series 70 don't have it. I don't think the new autos don't have it. Wonder why the revolvers have. I don't know if the other ones have that code underneath the grips. It may be underneath the grips. Oh, I just closed out of the video. You see, I'm not computer savvy. I don't know what this is. There's the dumb ad. Okay. But I don't know. To me, for me, and I mean, to each their own. For me, it wasn't a deal breaker. It's so small, you don't really notice it. But, yeah. Do I wish they probably should have just put that under the grips? I mean, yeah, come on. I don't like when these companies do things like that. We talked about that. Putting in, read the warning, labels before you operate this thing. Come on, cheap stuff does that, I'm not trying to sound so oh, I don't buy any of that, but it's just, come on, don't put that stuff on your firearm, you don't, you're not, it's just, anyway, well, I wish they would have put that under the grip on the frame myself anyway. If they're going to do that, they should do it discreetly and put it hidden away. Even Rock Island Armory got to the point where they realized that putting their big logo on like a billboard on the side of the slide was not a good idea. So they started just putting a little logo right there, and then underneath the dust cover is where they put the importation and all that kind of stuff. But yet, I got to hand it to them. They didn't put any of the read instruction manual thing first. That's a killer for me. That one goes for you, Gray. You know what's a deal breaker for me? The instruction manual thing on the firearms. Read instructions. Read the warning before I do that. That's a killer for me. If it has that, it's an immediate turn off for me. That's worse to me. That's worse than the key lock on the Smith & Wessons. Hey, my close buddy Scotty. Miss you, buddy. I miss you too, Scotty. I do. I do. Scott, how you doing? I know you're going to get that. I hope you have ketchup and eggs and cheese, you bugger, you. I miss you, man. You're a good friend. All right. Frank says, great look. So we do appreciate that. Okay. So that's all the comments that we've got. Again, we kind of got to the show a little bit later this week, but keep in mind, try to get your comments in on the first day out of the show, because a lot of times I do these tapings of the show fairly early. This time around we're a little late to the game, but try to get your comments in the first day. Okay, you know what? We have something here that I'm going to share. Oh boy, everything is falling down here under the table. The Flitz took a dive. All right, that's the cool trench knife. World War I reproduction. It's a repop of the trench knife. You guys seen the video on it. We actually did do a video on it. This came from the International Military Antiques guys. They did this. This is not a cheap reproduction, by the way, folks. This is not the you order it out of a magazine $20 special. These things are like $150 because they are solid brass. This is the real deal. It's about as close as you can get with the original markings and everything. That's why I got that. Both my buddy and I, we ended up with one each because we both are a big fan of the knuckle knife, and so we'll display that in the back there. We'll find a way to incorporate it on the awesome wall and everything. But okay, back to what we were talking about. This is actually stems from Stephen Bush. That's what his YouTube name used to be. Now it's Hops and Lead. Really awesome fella. His sense of humor is pretty out there, but he does a lot of beer reviews. I'm going to tell you this straight up. I don't drink alcohol. Okay. I don't drink. I used to drink a little bit here and there, but I don't. Actually, I have a slight allergic reaction to alcohol a little bit. I think. I'm thinking that because I do get a little bit more of a reaction to it. Not like I'm not going to vapor lock on you or anything like that, but I do have a little bit more of a reaction to it than others. So I don't drink, and I don't drink a whole lot if I do drink. If I do take a shot or something like that for like Mr. Holster or something, I did that. I'm fine with that. That's not a big deal. But anyway, this is, and of course all the true beer drinkers are going to be like, oh my God, he is totally butchering this. Yes, I am. I got this glass because I wanted it to be clear so you can see this. And what I got, and I actually got this because of his channel. This is the Oscar Blues 1050 Imperial Stout. The reason I wanted to try this and was interested in this was because the stuff was so dark when I saw his video. I said, what the heck? How can that stuff be like that? So this is the first time I've ever seen it. I searched a lot. I kept going to the local markets and trying to find this. Apparently this stuff is only available during the cold season, so that's how I was able to procure this. But I bought one can, and I want to see it because this Steven said this was like the darkest beer he ever seen. So let's check it out. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Oh man. You know, here I am pouring this whole thing, and I'm not even going to be able to drink it, am I? How would I say the color of this? What would I say? Like soy sauce. You ever had soy sauce? Like go to the market and say Kiko Man soy sauce. That's how I would. You can't even see through the glass. You can't even see through that. I'm actually holding it up to the light here for the studio, and I can't see through that. That's insane. Look at that stuff. Okay. It is dark. Here we go. I'm not going to drink all of this, certainly, but I'm going to definitely try it. Oh, gosh. That's strong. Again, I'm not a beer drinker, but I can tell you that's strong. That's got a real potent. If you like stouts, try that stuff. I forget what the whole information on it, but go and check out Hops and Lead, and check out his reviews on this stuff, because that's he actually did the reviews for it. That is that's something. That's strong. That's a. I'm not a beer drinker or anything, but I definitely just wanted to try it and check it out and see it. I'm going to save this can, by the way, so the can will be incorporated into the background there. But I'm going to tell you this much. From a non-drinker, basically, that stuff is potent. That is potent to me. I wish I actually would have brought a cup of coffee or something else out here, or a bottle of water. Okay, so there it is. That was I've been so excited to try that because I wanted to see just how dark that is, and I'm telling you that is the most stout beer I've ever seen. I'm telling you, that stuff is like that. It's like soy sauce. Okay. All right. We are going to go and talk about the star of the show, the Inland M130 carbine. Vintage World War II. This one obviously has been taken to the whatever you call later done through the rebuilds or whatever you want to call them, because they added the bayonet lug. And obviously that's not, during the World War II times, or maybe it was, maybe it's towards the end of the times. And of course it has the adjustable sights, not the L sight. That is some of the things that you kind of look for in these things. I'm not a virtuoso in them all. I just know that this is cool. It's old. The stock is, original. It still has the ordnance stamp over here. It's got all the dings and everything in it. It's got that green parkerizing that you love. The barrel says Inland General Motors 1943. Also, the thing about these is really hard to find them vintage like this that haven't been shot out, where the barrels are just trashed. This one, I got very lucky. I don't know. The barrel held up really well because I checked the rifling and everything. And then you can actually take a round and stick the round in the top and see how if it's been wallowed out by those harsh brushes or shot out or whatnot. And I believe the receiver is a Saginaw. You can slightly see it under the sight there. You got to remove the sight to see it, but it is a Saginaw receiver. So the cool thing for me about the gun was, it's actually a World War II vintage. It just may have been repurposed for Korean War or whatnot, because it does have some of the upgrades. But for the most part, it's still there. The trigger group does say Inland. The receiver is Saginaw. I believe they're the drive shaft company or whatnot. But this is just cool. This is so cool. Original strap and everything. I have always been fascinated by these. Kind of an interesting story. Back when I was on the island, I saw a reproduction of one of these, and I really wanted to get it from a fella that was selling it. And he gave me a real hard time about it and run around. He wouldn't help me out, wouldn't let me put it on layaway or anything like that. And I tell you right now, as a poor working stiff 9-to-5er like myself, and many of you that are viewing this, layaway is a wonderful program. We all love layaway because it helps us attain things like this. So when I came across this down here locally, I just couldn't help myself but picking it up because the price was really good. I got this for a really low price compared to what they're going for now. These things have gone up there in price for sure. But this is cool because I also have all the original stuff with it, the pouch and everything. Original magazine, you can tell by that is the original magazine. And I think I just picked up a repop magazine just to be able to shoot it. I think that's a repop, or that might actually be an original magazine as well, by the looks of it. To be honest, I haven't taken this thing out in a long time. Haven't brought it out to mess with, but we brought out a bunch of other cool stuff. World War II holster and everything. Forget what's in. Nothing's in that one, but vintage World War II holster, Grayton and Knight leather holster. Of course, we got the cool 45s and everything. You gotta love the 45s, the military carton boxes that they came in, and I even though I really my heart is set. I love the old gun. I really do. That's I love the old 45. Even got a pile of the real bullets here. The real full metal jacket. Hardball ammunition. The real stuff that the thing shot and everything. We brought out an array and assortment of stuff that we kind of mess with this stuff. That's all kind of involved in it. Of course, World War II to me was the kind of most interesting. I love the stuff from that era because all the parkerizing, the color that the parkerizing took on, it's really cool to me. That green parkerizing, and I tell you, there's nothing better than not only just a table of World War II stuff, but having the real deal. I mean, that is just cool. There's something about the real historical the war baby right here. That real iconic rifle, and in a way, and this has been my favorite of all of them because this is the one that was issued the most. Honestly, I had Garands over the years, but the Garands are fairly heavy, and I know be a man and have the Garand, but I've had them. I've always let them go, but I've hung on to this one, even though I've thought about selling it, came close to selling it. But I'm glad I hung on to it because in the end, it's a really cool piece of history, and you got to have something like this. If you're really into the historical stuff like I am, these are all things you want to hang on to because they're just not coming around like they used to, and when they do come around, they're carrying a really heavy price tag. They really are. They're carrying a heavy-duty price tag, and the stuff is out there, but a lot of it belongs in, or it is residing right now in people's personal collections, like myself. I collected the 45s from World War II, and it takes a long time to kind of find them and track them all down. We got all those major companies that were doing it. The Singer obviously is just ridiculous in money. On my working stiff's budget, no way in hell is that ever going to happen. So, but the stuff is out there. If you want to go out there and try to get it or whatnot, it's still available. It's still out there. So you just got to kind of hunt them down. Now, as much nowadays when I go to shoot and stuff like that, I've grown to kind of love the, there's that modern take on the 1911 now, and it's still, it took me a while to come around, but I don't fool yourself. If I could only have one, I would have to probably choose something that would be true to the original, and it would have to be in 45, just because that's the original caliber. That's the granddaddy of them all, and it would probably have to be a Colt. But I'm going to tell you something. My Wilson Combat CQB right here would have to be probably the one I would have to keep, because this is just such a custom, fine-tuned firearm with the Elite magazine, and it shoots the real bullets 45, as you would say. So, and it's got all the upgrades and everything. It's got everything. I think it's got everything you want, nothing you don't need on it. It's got, you know, the rear serrations, the front serrations, high visibility sights. For me, you know, left-handed, ambi safety, that's a must. Even though I'm not a fan of ambi safeties, actually, because most of the time I shoot these things right-handed anyway. But the safety on these is a low profile. Wilson Combat did a low profile thumb safety, so I do like that. That's really nice. But anyway, yeah, that's a sweetheart. But, you know, there's something to be said about the old, it's, you know, if you think about it, over 100 years, that pistol's been around, and it's still today buyable. It's still a high selling firearm, so there's something really cool about that. Absolutely. So, you know, the other thing I was going to talk about, which was, you know, kind of, I don't know, I don't really like getting on the soapbox thing, but, you know, I grew up working hard and trying to make ends meet. I come from a really hard-working family. My grandfather, World War II vet, you know, so, you know, that was my household. That was, you know, me growing up. And I feel like a lot of people now, they almost can't even say that anymore. I didn't grow up with getting my information by a 3x5 screen. I did not. I grew up getting my information by listening to people that were, you know, like my grandfather, World War II veterans, you know, growing up from the past days, you know, listening to what they had to say. We didn't have a computer to type things into and just let it dictate our lives or tell us that these are the answers. The way I feel about things in the world now is, it's, you get these people that can sit there, you know, just because they can regurgitate a Wikipedia page to you. So what? You know, I mean, I don't mean to sound like a downer or anything, but so what? You know, it's like you tell that same person, you know, that kid with their, you know, their phone that tells them what to do and how to sleep and how to think and feel. You know, why don't you tell them that, you know what, go to the garage, give me a vice grips, a Phillips set bit number 2, give me a 3/8, you know, wrench, and, you know, and also bring a crescent wrench just to be careful, you know, just to make sure, and a needle nose pliers. And then, you know what, you might want to throw this one in there too. While you're at it, get a cordless extension cord. You know, so it's just like, I don't know. I guess, you know, for me, you know, I guess it's like I'm turning into the old man or something. I don't know, which sounds funny to me, but I've always looked up to the people that knew more than I did. I was part of that generation that, you know, we looked up to the elders. We learned from the elders, the people that have been around the earth longer than I have. That's where I got my information from. That's where I learned my work ethic. At 14 years old, I was making car payments, you know, working at a grocery store in a local town, bagging groceries and fetching carts in and out of the thing. So you always work. And now I pride myself in my work ethic now, that when I work for a company or go to work for somebody, that if I leave, they're hurting. They don't want me to go, because I become an asset to the company. Not to sound like I'm self-aggrandizing, but I'm talking about work ethics in general. Take pride in your work. Take pride in ownership of stuff. I bought all of this with my own money that I sweat blood and tears for. I bought everything here. I accumulated it. I fought for it. I figured out a way how to make it work. I ate soup for weeks to be able to afford it. Whatever it took, layaway, whatnot, because I'm a working stiff, a 9-to-5er, and that's what it is. And that's what I do, and I go out there and work. I don't get my information. I'm not on social media. This is it. This YouTube thing that's, you know, it's about as close as I ever came to any of the kind of modern stuff. But not knocking it. It's a good tool. You know, the cell phone it is a good, wonderful tool. Many of you are watching this program right now on your cell phone. It is a good tool. we're a far cry from the 411 days or the phone book. You don't even see those anymore, or drop a dime. These are all things that people forgot. I remember seeing, as driving on, I saw a group of kids taking photos of themselves of like an old broken down phone booth. It's like, man, we had one of those on my school campus. But anyway, no, I didn't, not trying to get on the soapbox, but I just wanted to let you know a little bit of where I'm kind of coming from, and how I live my life and everything, and it's also, you got to be careful out there, because you get people that sometimes they only want to be your friend for a reason. Sometimes, like a good friend of mine that my friend Don, before I left the island, he told me he came down to the airport because he had an airport pass to come down there, because that was right before I was getting on my plane to come out here and leave the island life and be gone and go start a new life. And that's why I wanted, and part of the reason I did that was because I didn't want to be getting older. I was like, I didn't want to be 30 something years old still in that island doing, what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but island will always be my house, my home, the place I grew up. It'll always be that. But you gotta, I didn't want to be on my deathbed, thinking I should have did that, or I wish I would have gone and done something more. I wanted to experience more, because I'm telling you, I mean, when the older people tell you this, and when I was younger, when they told me that, I didn't think much of it, but now I think more of it, because I'm telling you, it is so true, and it's going faster for me. It's scary. Time flies by. Before you know it, the year's over, another birthday, another year older, and I tell you, it's scary. It's really frightening. So live it up. Whatever in life makes you happy, run, don't walk, do it. I've seen people procrastinate. Maybe if you can afford it, if you're not going to put yourself in hole, I always make sure I can cover my bills, cover all my, my whatever, mortgage payments, cover all that stuff first. That's the number one priority, and put food on your table. I'm a fat boy. I ain't going to skimp on the food. I want to eat. That's just where I'm at now. I want to eat. So, and I ain't going to settle for no McDonald's, man. I want good stuff, okay? So I'm going to have to push the guns back on the side because I want to eat. But anyway, no, but do whatever makes you happy. And if you can do it, do it. Pull it off and do it. You know what? I did not think I'd ever own a high custom 1911. Didn't think I would. But I ended up with one, and I made it work. God bless layaway. But no, that's such is life, C'est la vie. But you know what? I'm gonna leave you with that. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope everybody has a great time out there. Be safe this holidays. Be careful. To some, it's kind of a downer, but for me, always remember my thoughts on Christmas and the holidays is this. It shouldn't be about monetary things. It's about family. It's about love, getting together with the people you care about the most and spend time with them. Do the most you can with them. Also, something my other buddy talked about and I talked about, you know what? Here's the thing. Always look at this. The people that still call you, the people that still contact you, they care about you. Those are people. The people that you can literally go on and never hear from, maybe they ain't your friend anyway. So think about that. I don't know. I do. I don't put effort to anybody that doesn't put effort into me. That's just the way it is. And that's why I can count my friends on one hand. And I tell you though, I wouldn't trade them for a million. Thanks for watching.